Sometimes the assassination of a leader is so shocking and profound that it triggers what psychologists call flashbulb memory in a country's citizens. Leaders use protection, which ranges from a handful of personal bodyguards to elaborate security services, to deter a prospective assassin or a group of assassins from carrying out their deadly actions. Unfortunately, some still succeed. Welcome to Mystery Amuse, and today we're counting down our picks for the craziest assassinations in the Middle Ages. Before starting our video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell for more amazing content. So let's get this video started. Number 5. Juliano de Medici. The Pazzi conspiracy was an attempt to kill the Medici family and get them out of power in Florence, Italy. The plot was put together by the Pazzi, another prominent Florentine family, and the Pope was also a part of the plot. On Sunday, 26 April 1478, during High Mass at the Duomo, before a crowd of 10,000, the assassins struck at Lorenzo de Medici and his brother Juliano de Medici. Juliano was stabbed 19 times and bled to death on the cathedral floor, but Lorenzo survived. The rest of Pazzi's plan fell apart when people in Florence stood up for the Medici. Mobs killed the killers, and the Pazzi family and those who helped them were hunted down and killed. In the end, Lorenzo de Medici would have more power than ever. Number 4. Philip of Swabia. Philip of Swabia had to fight a lot of battles to stay as the King of Germany from 1198 to 1208. On June 21, 1208, he went to Bamberg to see his niece get married. There he met his supporter, Count Otto Villani of Wittelsbach, who wanted to marry one of his daughters. When Otto found out that Philip had turned down the offer, the crazy count and his men went to the king's bedroom and told him that now was not the time for jokes. He then cut Philip's throat with his sword, and after taking 3 steps, the king fell to the ground and died. It took almost a year before Count Otto was found and killed for his crime. His head was thrown into the Danube River, and his body was left to rot for 7 years before it was buried. Number 3. James I of Scotland. James was King of Scotland for more than 30 years, but the King of England held him in prison for the first 18 years. Once he paid the ransom to get himself free, he found himself in a Scottish kingdom with strong nobles who were used to living in a country without a king. Eventually, his uncle and former ally, Walter Stewart, Earl of Atholl, decided to start a coup to get rid of James because he was afraid that the king would take his land. On the night of February 20, 1437, a group of 30 men came to Perth, where the king and queen were staying, to kill them both. James tried to get away by running through a sewer tunnel, but it had been recently blocked up to prevent tennis balls from getting lost. The king was found and killed, but the queen, who was hurt, was able to get away. Their 6-year-old son, James Edu, was put on the throne while the people who were plotting against them were found and killed. Walter Stewart would be tortured for 3 days, including being blinded by red-hot iron pincers and having his organs removed and burned in front of him before his heart was ripped out. Number 2. Charles I, Count of Flanders. Charles the Good was the Count of Flanders from 1119 until 1127. On March 2, 1127, the Arembold family and other nobles decided to kill the Count while he was at church in the town of Bruges. They were afraid that the Count was going to take away their land and power, so they did not want that to happen. Galbert of Bruges, a historian, wrote that those wretched traitors, who were already murderers at heart, killed the Count, who was struck down with swords and run through over and over again, while he was praying fervently and giving alms while kneeling in humility before the divine majesty. The killing would start a civil war in Flanders, and most of the people involved in the plot would eventually be put to death. Number 1. Conrad of Montverat. The Nizari Ismailis, a Shia sect from Syria and Persia, were known as the best assassins in the Middle Ages. They were called the Hashishin, from which the word assassin came. This group was blamed for a number of murders in the Middle East, including the death of Conrad of Montverat on April 28, 1192. According to the chronicler Ambroise, Conrad, who had days earlier been elected to be the next king of Jerusalem, had just left from having dinner with the Bishop of Beauvais when, as he was walking home, happy, 2 young men without cloaks and carrying 2 knives ran up to him and struck him in the body as they ran up, making him fall. One of the people who betrayed him was killed right away, and the other tried to hide in the church. But that didn't help him because he was caught and dragged until he died. The Ismailis were blamed for the murder, and this wouldn't be the only time they'd be blamed without solid proof. Maybe other people used them as a scapegoat. There were even rumors that Richard I, King of England, was part of a plot because he didn't want Conrad to be in charge of a Crusader state. Many of the killings in the Middle Ages may have changed the course of history, which makes people wonder, could any of them have been stopped? That was it for today's video. If you like this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time. We'll see you later.